This video is for 18 or older. If you're not 18 or older, please don't watch this. But this video is for documentation and educational purposes only. Everything you see here is done by professionals, whatever that means. Nothing is for sale, and we do not encourage the use of anything legal or illegal. So like I said, if you meet that criteria, please enjoy the show. What's going on, LubeTube? John Gross here. How the hell are you doing? I'm just going to get the intro out of the way, from the first intro. I'd like to let everybody know this episode is brought to you in part by Coastal Mary. Hell yeah. And if you use my code at Coastal Mary, it'll save you 20% off. And the code is John Grows, all one word, will save you 20% off your order. I also would like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. Welcome. This is the cannabis community, and, it's peace, love, and happiness. You know what I mean? If you have any questions, leave some comments down in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer things or point you in the direction to help answer your question if I can't answer it. Hell yeah, I'm not a professional grower. I grow all organically, and to me, probably one of the easiest ways for a new beginner to grow is probably in the organics. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. But we're going to get into this video. I'm going to have probably like a 2-part, 3-part. I don't know. But we're in the Viral Sun 4x2. Hell yeah. It's an older tent. It's kind of got the light leaks going on. If you had, it's a little bit darker, you could see. If you have any doubts on getting a cheaper tent, don't. You know what I mean? If your tent is in like a dark room and you just want to control a small environment, a cheaper tent will work good for you, okay? Don't be afraid to buy some cheaper tents. Now, these zippers are lasting pretty good. My other Vivo Sun, it's a little difficult with the zipper, but still, these are like $80 for this tent. Hell yeah. But let's get into this, okay? Oh, nice. Here's the meow. The meow, it's not the same plant, meow. I know. You need your leaves, but it's not the same plant, Demian. No. Demian, get out of the way. Stop fighting. Let's get into this, okay? We have some... Demian, no, you're being a bad. We've got some pepper plants in here. Most of these are bell peppers. We have some super hots, is the chocolate primos. The 7-pot is right there, 7-pot scorpion. We have some tomato plants in here, little husk tomatoes. Some cucumbers over there, some summer squash over there. Hell yeah, we got most of this stuff's going to be given away, okay? But this is under the Micro Array 4. Shout out to Shane. Hell yeah. This is another thing for new beginners, okay? Don't go silly on lights, right? My suggestion to you is if you're going to buy a light, don't buy the Burples, okay? And don't buy anything under maybe like $100, okay? Don't go silly, okay? I know there's some lights out there that are pushing like $1,000. If you're a new grower, you really don't need that. If you have a budget to, by all means. But yeah. But let's get into this, okay? This is mostly going to get given away and stuff like that. I do this as a hobby. It's for fun, But we got some tomatoes, some peppers, bell peppers, super hots, you know what I mean? And then we have... Oh! Hell yeah! I've got some good herb seeds in here, some seedlings. I've had a really hard time starting seeds. I'm going to go back to the old-fashioned way. In fact, I did that on another one. I'll show you. Starting them in soil, I suck at that. That's why we have a couple, like this Gorilla Runs kind of died. This Black Cherry Bliss, I kind of screwed up. Right there, that died. I got some Orange Punch by Dutch Passion, that one survived. And this Black Cherry Bliss by Elite Cut Genetics, this one is doing a lot better. So, these are a couple of weeks old. Like I said, I had some issues starting these things. I have a Gary Payton. Yeah, she's alive, but, like I said, I'm not a professional. It's a hobby. But yeah, I was just planting the seeds in the HP Pro Mix and just trying to water it. And I think I watered these girls a little too much. But here we go. That's the Gary Payton. No, this is Kush Babies. This one survived. But again, she's she's like, So I'm going to go back to the old way of starting my seeds in soaking them overnight, maybe 24 to 48 hours, waiting for them to sink, then putting them on a damp paper towel in a sandwich bag. That's what I'm going back to. But hell yeah, you know what I mean? Probably looking around May, I'm going to get rid of a majority of this shit, and then I've got my own garden outside that I'm going to friggin' do some work on. But hell yeah, that's the Black Cherry Bliss by Elite Cut Genetics. The Orange Punch by Dutch Passion. Those managed to do all right. But hell yeah. I gotta go to, it's a Migro. This is a nice little light. I think it's probably like a couple $100. You can't go wrong. I had my last run in the 4x2 that I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. I fucking forgot now. Gary Payton Revised in California Couch Lock. And they came, but well, don't worry. I'm going to show you, okay? But hell yeah, that's a little on this. Nothing a lot going on right now because obviously, they're little seedlings over here. But, hopefully when I plant these things outside, I'm going to let you guys in on that too as well. But anyway, I'm going to go to the second video on this. So much love. Peace. Oh! Now we're at the Bible Sun. This is the second Bible Sun tent I got going on. And I have more vegetables in here. These are tomato plants. I had a little rough time with these girls. In fact, let's see. It's kind of heavy. I might need water. So I'm going to water these girls. I'm going to water these girls. I kind of sprayed them real quick before I did my errands and shit. But again, these are some pepper plants, some tomato plants. You got cherry tomatoes, regular beef tomatoes in here. These are more peppers, bell peppers, and I got to water these girls again too. But what happened with these girls, they had high humidity, and I didn't adjust them to the lower humidity. And when I put them in these tents, they were all fucked up. So when you go from higher humidity to lower humidity, you got to open up the vents in your domes and let your plants adjust. But I had my time. You know what I mean? I just said screw it. I rolled the dice, and so they're a little stunted, but they're starting to come back. But yeah, I got to water these girls after I do this video. Oh, in the corner over here, we have I don't know if that's a Gary Payton or if that's a California Couch Lock, but I'm trying to re-veg this plant and stick that outside too, but I don't know if it's going to survive. This plant was stunted, and then I had it was on the bottom of the frame. If you look past previous videos, you'd see this one was in between the two earth buckets over there. There's the two earth buckets. And this is what I use, Gaia Green 444 and the 284 Bloom. That's what's in here is the Gaia Green 444, earthworm castings. I didn't put biochar in here. I didn't want to waste good biochar on this. But the HP Pro Mix as well. HP Pro Mix, Gaia Green 444, and earthworm castings. That's about it. in these girls. Um, I have a sweet potato. Now, if you ever want to get slits for your sweet potatoes, the way you do it is you just get a container and then you wet the soil and put your sweet potato in there, and she started growing. You can see it right there. So it takes a long time. So you got to be patient with it. Unless you have an older sweet potato and you stick it in soil and wet it, that'll be a different story. It might not take, but that's a fresh sweet potato out of the grocery store. So it took a little bit of time. So you just have to be patient with it. But yeah, I'm gonna water these girls when I get done this, and then this right here I'm trying to re-veg. This is an EcoWit moisture meter. They work good, actually. I got mine at Build a Soil, so shout out to Build a Soil. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are in HP Pro Mix, 444, Orthworm castings, all that good stuff. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Peace. All right, holy shit. We're back. I'm in the seedling room. Okay. I don't know if oh yeah, you could see it. The one in the back is Black Cherry Bliss by Elite Cut Genetics. This is Gary Payton from Elevate Seeds. Shout out to Elevate Seeds. This is Orange Punch by Dutch Passion. And I can't remember which one of the one is in the back. But these started. And these are in the Vivo Sun. Dude, I'm telling you, if you're going to get a heating mat, right? And you don't want to fry your beans, spend the extra $20 or however it is from a regular heating mat and get this one that's got a temperature control on it. Because you can set the temperature to set your needs. You know what I mean? But here, this is Sunday Sherbet by Barney Farms, I do believe. I have to remember. I think it's Barney Farms. But I just planted that today. And actually, I should be writing this stuff down. But always write your stuff down. Always write your stuff down when you plant, when you top dress. You know what I'm saying? When you flip the flower, so you actually know. So you're not guessing. I'm telling you, trust me. I'm bad at doing bullshit, like cutting corners. And the simplest thing you could do to help your thing out is just write everything down. These are brandy tomatoes. I just planted those a couple of days ago. And this is just there's a tomato plant over in the corner and they're still kicking, so I didn't want to kill them. It is what it is. But yeah, and then they're under the AC Infinity. I love these little lights. They got their own timer. You could set sunset, sunrise. Which I don't know if it works. You could set a timer for it to come on and off. You can do a lot with this. I also have the Vivo Sun. Now these are cheaper than these, but these are a lot better built. This has got a flat surface on it, but then you have the lenses on these LEDs are kind of in a bubble. So it doesn't really lay flat on the humidity dome, but it doesn't melt it or anything like that. It actually works pretty good. So if you were looking for lights for the AC Infinity's got a propagation tent that these things work great in. They're about 30 watts, and I think the same thing for these. It's 30 watts on these too, I do believe. They actually work, but it's simpler. It's just a switch. It depends on what, you know what I mean? If you want to spend the extra money or not, But they both work the same way. Just these are a solid light. This you can adjust I'm at 7 now on this. Yeah, I'm at 7. You can adjust this. So I could put it at 7. I could put it at 8. Then it went to 8, and it just actually flickered. And then it just flickered down a little bit. But yeah, these girls, this one right here is looking pretty damn good. This one's a little friggin' stunted. I had a shitty time. I'll be honest. I had a shitty time starting these plants in soil or in the HP Pro Mix. I think I have a better time starting it. Like this right here is Happy Frog with a little bit of earthworm castings, a little bit more. You don't want to start your seeds in like something like Ocean Forest because it might be too hot for a little seedling. So this is Happy Frog with a little extra earthworm castings, and you should be good with that. Hell yeah. But, shout out to the 420 scene. Shout out to him. Well, let's do this. Let's shout out everybody. Shout out to Green Magic Gardening. Shout out to Mr. Canucks. Mr. Canucks dropped a video the other day. Hell yeah. Mr. Grow It. Pigeons 420. Rob from CLTV, Trey, shout out to everybody in the community. Shout out to Man Down Gardening. Let's see, who else? I don't want to forget anybody, If you could, well, it's kind of a little late now, but I hope you watched the video all the way through. Like, subscribe, and share, because the Lube Tube doesn't push any of our content because they're in bed with Big Pharma. You know that, and I know that. Hell yeah, Jesus God. But hell yeah, these are all in HP Pro Mix, except for that. And these ones I had issues because of the HP Pro Mix, I think. I just watered them too much. But this one I just used a spray bottle. I sprayed up the soil a little bit, get it nice and damp, and it had a nice friggin' taproot. I actually should have taken a picture. It had a good sized taproot, so I know that popped. So this is the old school way. Okay, while we're talking about this, right? If you buy a regular heating mat, right? See, I got some more beans in there. And I filled some soil in a little freaking cup. You know what I'm saying? To lift it up off of the heating mat, off the friggin' bottom of this humidity dome. And it's the same thing if you just get a regular heating mat, okay? And you don't have a humidity dome. Just elevate the beans so they don't get roasted, because that's what will happen if you use a regular heating mat and you put your beans on there. It'll roast your beans. I've had it happen to me. So use something like these things. They're little friggin', 3-inch coconut cups. Use that to lift up your beans so they won't roast. You won't roast them and then kill your beans, because beans are expensive. Unless you use my code at Coastal Mary, it'll save you 20% off your beans. But if you can't afford and spend the extra $25 on that, if you can't afford to spend the extra $25 on the heating mat, then just do it this way. Put it up. Now, there's other ways you can, I can't even think of the word. I've had freaking a super fatty. There's other ways to germinate your beans. You know what I mean? You could take a sandwich bag like that with the wet paper towel. Let them soak, obviously, for a day or two. Get the water on the paper towel, not soaking wet. Like, swing it out so it's damp. And then either put it on your cable box or put it on the top of your refrigerator. Put it somewhere it was warm. Don't put it in direct sunlight. You know what I mean? You want to keep the light away from it. That's why these lights aren't on. Hell yeah. If you can't, if you don't have a heating mat, there's other ways to germinate your beans. You just put it on, like I said, a cable box somewhere, atop of your refrigerator. You know what I mean? Somewhere where it's warm, not hot, and that will also germinate your beans. Okay? But hell yeah, if you have any questions, leave some comments down in the comment section. I try to make these videos as informative as I can. You know what I mean? But I'm going to release a video. I don't have a lot going on. Just mainly, the friggin' fruits and vegetable type shits. But hell yeah. Have any questions, leave some comments down in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer what I can for you. You know what I'm saying? Peace.